it off to Will Coleman for the tomahawk.
Oh, my. Will Coleman off the run.
He dominated on the court. Now he brings his talent to the microphone. Welcome to the Will Coleman Show, a Bluff City Media audio podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is the big man himself, Will Coleman. Now, let's get to the show.
Let's get to it. Me and my dog K, I think we both feel like we just stepped off the struggle bus this morning.
It's been a struggle today so far.
We both been on the struggle bus, man. But hey, today's a new day. Lots to be happy about. Lots to talk about. Lots to address. Some great things, some not so great things, depending on who you talk to. But we'll get into that a little later. But first and foremost, I know what's going on, man. Get right into this Tiger talk, man. My Tigers. I mean, all the feels. Let's go ahead and address Sunday and how electric, how amazing, how euphoric the form was.
Such a good word, Will.
I try and use my SAT word sometimes.
The euphoric is such a good word.
Not all the time, but I got a couple that I know. I try to use them every now and again. But the atmosphere was, first and foremost, I can't remember the last time. The stripe out was a success. Stripe out was a success. The blue, white. I was amazing.
Were you concerned going in?
I kind of was, man. Because, sometimes Memphis fans kind of do what they want on their own. Even when, we try and push something, but Memphis fans showed out. And that's one big takeaway, one big thing I love about it, okay? Two, it got so loud in there that it was, a point in time where I couldn't even hear myself talk, which was amazing.
At what point in the game? It was loud the entire game. But that Kendrick three at the top of the key.
Oh, that was like logo.
The logo three.
And he shot it like he knew it was going in.
Oh, he knew.
When that joint went in and they tied the game 51-51, you would have thought, I don't even know what to compare it to, because the way the lid blew off the form.
That wasn't 51-51.
Was that not it?
That was 62-59. Then he tied it at 60, or was it 63?
It was a tie the game.
It
for
was
sure.
60-60. He tied the game at 63. It was the very end of the game.
Oh, was it very end? Okay.
So they hit the layup.
Right.
Kendrick
Okay,
hit the layup.
yeah.
So it was like right in a row.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I will say this. After we tied it up, I think it was it McCadden that had the corner three but missed?
No, it was Kendrick again.
Was it Kendrick?
He caught that ball in the corner, and you could see it in his hands. He didn't catch it the right way. Like, he didn't catch it properly, and he flicked it up.
And that's what kind of stinks. Like, if you have, like, just from, basketball mechanic standpoint, if your hands are too small, like, you're not able to catch the ball and manipulate it as fast as you can. Obviously, if I catch a ball in my hand, I'm able to just catch it and flip that thing real quick. But, like, to get a perfect shot when your hands are a certain size, you got to get that thing just right, regardless if you shoot it on the laces, if you shoot, however you decide to shoot the ball when you're most comfortable. If your hands play a big part in that, and like you said, I think if he just hoisted that thing up, then it could. There's a lot of things that could play into that.
Compared to other guys your size, or even NBA players, like, do you have big hands, or are they just normal size?
No, I think I have a pretty big hand. Yeah, I think I have a pretty big hand. But I'm also not like a shooter. So it's like, one thing that a lot of people say, I don't know him. I just know the hand, the guy's hands are massive. I think, Kawhi Leonard's hands play a huge factor in, his shooting ability because his hands are extremely large.
Well, they call him the Claw.
The Claw, yeah. Yeah, so, like, I mean, I think his hand size plays a part in it, but, like, I think you really need to have – I mean, I think it plays a huge part in it. I can't speak on it too much because I'm just not out here raining threes. In my mind I am, but –
Yes, you are, dude. I've seen you. It's straight buckets, man. You're the fourth splash brother.
Getting cussed out on every, like, rec league team. I'm like, you're not a big – you're not a guard. Get in a paint.
If anybody cusses you out on the basketball court, man, tell them to go sit down on a bench somewhere.
There's only one person that really cut. I just had a conversation about this last night. There's one person that, cusses me out on the basketball court, like cusses me to no end, only because he's super competitive and he likes to win. A buddy of mine, Mr. Taylor, I want to get him in here at some point, but when we're playing, he went to East Tennessee. I mean, in my opinion, best point guard in the city. That's just nobody can guard him. He's unguardable. He catches a lot of flack from a lot of people because, he's a great basketball player. But when we're playing together, I mean, he don't hold back. You sorry mother. Get off the ball. Get down low. Get out. He let me have it. But like I said, it's just because he that's my homie. And I know it comes from a place of love, and he just likes to win. But that's another conversation for another day. But also, you pointed this out. A lot of people read about it, and it was something I think it was very historic and monumental because I don't think the university has ever, gotten out of their comfort zone to try and pull something off like this. Barstool was in the building.
Man, they were there.
Barstool was in the building.
I mean, how dope. So you saw, if you were at the game or you saw them in the student section, they were the guys wearing the yellow raincoats with the rain hats, the rain caps.
Man.
There was like 5 of them, I think, 4 of them that were there. They call themselves the Storm Chasers. And what they do is they travel from college basketball arena to college basketball arena, get in the student section, and try to storm the court.
Man. And that took a lot of, like you said, it took a lot of background work on the university side because if you think about it, obviously I'm sure there's insurances and all kinds of things that need to be planned through, but like the back end work from the university.
Yeah.
Try and make that happen with a building that belongs to the city.
Right.
That's not like our gym. Like the Forum doesn't belong to us. That's just a venue we play at. That facility belongs to the city.
Right.
And probably the state. I don't know all the ins and outs to it, but there's a lot of legwork.
You haven't seen the contract? You don't know who's on the contract?
No, I ain't seen that yet. I just know it's a home for us to play in.
We don't play those kind of contracts, right?
No.
No, so basically what I found out, Will, before the game, because obviously the Storm Chasers, if you are a sports fan, everybody knows who Barstool Sports is, founded by Dave Portnoy, Big Cat. There's a bunch of people that are part of it. I mean, one of the hottest duos in sports interviewing right now is the Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley and Glennie Balls.
Man.
And it is a trip. Caleb Presley is wild. Caleb Presley and Glennie Balls are the 2 guys who actually started Storm Chasers.
Man.
So this is the first year that Caleb hasn't been involved because his role at Barstool is expanding, so he wasn't able to be involved in it. But there's a group of guys, and they travel back and forth across. They crisscross the country going to these universities. And I found out that obviously the world found out they were coming the night before. They put out a video. But then I found out the day of the game that the University of Memphis had actually been working behind the scenes to get them there.
Man.
Which is so dope.
It is.
Because there's 2 things that could happen, Will. They come unannounced, and universities, security teams, whatever, get all pissed off. And you saw it the night before in Texas A&M. They got banned from the arena. They got kicked out.
Yeah.
They were basically security followed them around, kicked them out, all that. I just think it's super dope that Memphis embraced that and said, let's go for it, man.
Yeah. I mean, because we was just talking about it, and I didn't know, but last time we had a number 1 team, you said it was 30-some years ago against Arkansas. And, we was pretty close to it. We had Tennessee in town, number 1 against number 2. We were number 2 at the time. We lost, and then, Tennessee went on back home, and a couple people got in some trouble, As a basketball fan, it's like, hell yeah. But as a person that cares, it's like, what a dumbass. Like, you're concerned and you feel bad, but it's like, things happen, people make mistakes.
Wait, you're beating around the bush here. What are you talking about?
I mean, a couple fellas decided to run around with a pistol, and police got involved, got pulled over, and boom.
Never mind. We'll move on. I thought it was like a fan base thing.
No. Fans were solid. Fans were solid. We showed up. Fans were solid. That was a crazy game. But like you said, last time we had a number one team here, like you said, it was against Arkansas. But that brings me to my next point. Okay, how do you just overall trajectory of Penny's season? Is it a win or a loss?
Oh man, come on. I mean, I think if you are a Tiger fan at the beginning of this season and you came into this season seeing the roster, seeing all the people that had left, kind of the people that he was bringing in, the people that were left over. Obviously, when they got Kendrick Davis, it was a big deal, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that kind of changes the mindset of what expectations were, for the Tiger team. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there was kind of a level of apprehension and just kind of an unknown about the team because, we're a part of the sports media. We're used to being able to interact with teams, interact with the coaches, and even during the off season as all that's happening, we didn't get that this off season. We didn't get a chance to do Memphis Madness this off season. It was a kind of a block party on the University of Memphis. So I think everybody came into it going, what is this team and who are they? And it felt really subdued. I think there was just a bunch of questions. A lot of questions. But we're sitting here at the end of the regular season, and the Tigers are 23-8, 13-5 in the conference, and are, the teams that they have played, they had probably the toughest schedule that Penny's had since he's been here, and they went head-to-head with the two probably top teams in the country in Houston and Alabama 3 times. Oh, yeah. And lost by a grand total of 12 points.
3 games, 12 points. Against 2 top 5 teams. I think that says a lot. And a lot of people, don't think about it, but we beat Auburn at home. That was a home game, though. I don't care what nobody say. That was a home game.
It was in Atlanta, but come on, man.
Man, that was a home game for Auburn. Atlanta right up the street. That's a home game for them. And we went in there and we smacked them boys. And I still don't think people are giving Penny enough credit because it's real easy for people to get in here and scream, how many top 50 players you got. Even that bozo, that fool I was arguing with 2 weeks ago, how many top 50 players you got, how many top 100 players we got. You're not doing nothing but make yourself look just even more clueless because that shows a testament to what kind of team we got and what kind of coach we got. If we out here smacking, ranked teams, and we going head to head with top 5 programs, and we still don't have any top 50 or top 100 players, I think that says a lot about who we got on our team, and it says a lot about our coaches. I just don't. But that's what happened when you got people who don't know what they talking about, trying to start talking about what they think they know what they talking about.
That made sense to me. I understood exactly what you just said there. I am completely on the same trajectory or wavelength as you are right now.
Okay, good. At least somebody I know at least I got one person that's on the same page as me. And I just think, we've had some ugly wins and we've had some pretty wins. We've had some ugly losses. And I know some people probably like, you can't have a great loss, but obviously I'll say, that Tulane loss hurt us. UCF hurt us. But I think overall, man, I think this season can be counted as a win, even before postseason play, conference tournament, NCAA tournament. Now I'd still like to squeeze. I think we got the potential to squeeze a Sweet 16 run, maybe even an Elite 8 run. Ooh. That's a maybe. Man, that's a hot take right there. But I 100%. am confident on a Sweet 16 run.
So let's talk about AAC real quick, though, because they got that coming up. This is coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They travel to Fort Worth, Texas, Dickies Arena. They play the 6 o'clock Central Standard Time game. They got the first round bye as the 2 seed, and they're more than likely going to be playing UCF in the quarterfinals. What are your thoughts?
Shoot, man. They all over the place. Because I think I'm just trying to think through it. I mean, UCF wasn't no cakewalk. UCF wasn't no cakewalk.
They got a legit pro on their team in Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah.
Legit pro.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that ain't nothing to scoff at. So that could be tricky if we don't, go in with our heads on straight and get the W to get to see who we want to see again. And that'll be our third time playing them, fourth time playing. I know we're not in the basketball world, you're not supposed to look past games.
No.
But if we can get past UCF.
Right. It'd be Tulane.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be Tulane. Tulane would play, I think, so it's Wichita State and Tulsa in that first round.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa is bad at basketball.
Yeah.
Wichita State would probably play Tulane in the quarterfinals. Then it would be the Tigers against Tulane in the semifinals.
And then
if they can get through Tulane, but let's not look past Tulane. They haven't beat Tulane this year
at all. And that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. And that wasn't even on my mind to speak about, but Tulane is an NCAA tournament team.
They just have some bad losses. Just the Tigers have less bad losses and better wins.
Yeah.
Tulane, though, I love Ron Hunter as a coach.
I think the whole country's in love with him, man.
And I
that's
just
not
think
just a thing.
I just think it's just a different, I love the vibe of New Orleans. I love the just kind of that gritty vibe they have there.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like Tulane at their peak is an NCAA team.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they just have that youth kind of ebbs and flows of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to have to win the tournament, which means they're going to have to beat Memphis in the semifinal. They're going to beat Wichita State. They're going to beat Memphis and then play Houston in the final. But the hope is the Tigers can revenge, right? This is a revenge game.
It's incredibly hard to beat any sports team 3 times in a row. It's just hard. I don't think people understand that.
Well, now they got – so the biggest difference, I think, in this game is they haven't had Malcolm – the Tigers haven't had Malcolm at all for those 2 Tulane games.
Mm-mm.
Malcolm provides – Malcolm – man, just go back to Malcolm for – what were your thoughts on his game against Houston?
He plays some good basketball. And I think Malcolm needed that for Malcolm. Not I don't think Malcolm needed that for – obviously the team needed him, but I think Malcolm needed that for Malcolm. Because Malcolm has gone through a lot. A lot has happened. I don't know Malcolm personally. I see him every now and then. He's always been super awesome. Always speaks. Super nice dude. But him and Alo, I feel like they've been through a lot, man. Just it could be off the court issues, could be depression, could be injuries, we call a spade a spade. I think Malcolm and Alex would love their last go round to be a lot more prominent than it was.
I agree.
And I think they both wanted more for themselves on their last go round. But life happens. Mm-hmm. Injuries happen. And, I think that took a toll on them. Me personally, I love Alex Lomax, and I let him know every time I see him. and I'll DM him every now and then, and just send him a word, a positive word. But and it's no doubt in my mind that I don't think Alex Lomax would want more for his team, more for him, more for Malcolm, or just everybody, because he's literally put his body on the line for multiple games. Came back from a nasty injury. I mean, people understand, if you don't have a groin, you're not coughing without hurting, you're not walking, you're not your lateral movement is gone. So you can forget about that. But, like, to be able to come back from, something like that and still want to put his body on the line for his guys and play, I think that says a lot. As a senior guard, should his numbers look better? Yeah, probably. But I'm also not about to crucify the guy, based off what's going on. Dandridge, say the same about him, man. Yeah, could his numbers look better? Maybe. But, again, I'm not about to crucify the guy for it, because I love him to death, and they've both battled a lot. And so I think that game, back to your original question, I think that game was big for Malcolm.
What did you see? What did you see as I know it's kind of difficult to, really see unless you're watching film and tape and stuff afterwards, because you're kind of caught up in the moment and not really dissecting the game, But just in terms of as you start to face off against some of these bigger opponents like Houston, obviously Malcolm was having a great game against Alabama before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Does Malcolm coming back change the dynamic, change the opportunity that the Tigers have in terms of going deep into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, because when you get into tournament play, and these juggernauts start playing each other, it comes down to who wants it more. Because when you get to the NCAA tournament, everybody's talented, right? Everybody got scores. Everybody got somebody that can do something really special on the court. But it comes down to who wants it more. And if we have, that body count comes into play. And the more bodies that we have to throw at somebody on the floor that are producing at a high level, the better. Because at first it was just, Williams in there doing his thing. Then you got Chandler having to step up and play. Well, now you're asking Williams to play, get a bucket, and play D. Over a course of what? He's probably averaging, 35 minutes?
Yeah, he ain't unless he's got foul trouble, he's not coming out.
Yeah. So, when you got Dandridge in there to kind of relieve him, and they go back and forth, you kind of got the best of both worlds. You got Dandridge coming in, beating guys up on the inside, playing a little bully balls, able to, withstand a little more contact and fight for the glass. Whereas, if you need a breather, you got Williams in there, who's banging still. He's a banger, loves contact, loves being in the paint, but that high post opens so much more for the offense.
Totally agree.
And it does a lot. So I think that 1-2 helps.
Yeah.
Now they don't play much together. If those numbers, if they can find a way to play together,
right,
20 plus minutes,
right,
then I think we rolling.
Man,
I think some serious things can happen.
But
I mean,
listen to this stat line from Malcolm. One of the things that we know about Houston is are they the most offensively gifted team in the country? No, but they will grind your ass to the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And what do they play hard defense and they rebound. The Tigers out-rebounded them on Sunday. And Malcolm was a huge reason why.
See?
He had 7 rebounds. He played 28 minutes, which is a crazy number for Malcolm.
Oh, yeah.
28 minutes is a ton of minutes, and a lot of it was because DeAndre had to sit out because of the fouls. But played 28 minutes, shot 4 of 7 from the field, hit the only free throw he took, which is wild that he only took 1 free throw, number 1.
Oh, yeah. Refs were terrible.
Terrible.
Refs were terrible.
We can get into that. They were terrible.
Oh, yeah. 9
points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 7 rebounds in 28 minutes.
That's solid. Because in the past, Dandridge has struggled with his conditioning and staying on the court. And 28 minutes and to get that kind of stat line from him, I think that's huge for the team and for him. So I think that was huge. Even though we took the L, I think that was a huge confidence booster for him, and it shed a lot of light and positivity on this team going into the conference tournament. And I think his guys were happy to see that. I think they were happy for him.
So we got a couple of days until the tournament starts. They got to go on the way their bracket lines up in the AAC tournament is, like we said earlier, UCF, probably Tulane, and then the rematch against Houston. You mentioned earlier it's very difficult for a team to beat you 3 times in a season. Their semifinal game and their potential final game, if they get through UCF, is against 2 teams that have beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling pretty good about this? How are you feeling about it all?
I am. Now I don't know. I'm kind of, I choose to stay at arm's length away, but on the outside looking in, everybody seems pretty healthy.
Yep. Everybody
seems healthy. So it's always a good thing going into postseason with a healthy roster. We got UCF. We got Alo, we got KD, we got Dandridge, we got Williams, we got obviously Keontae's a freak accident, sucks, but I'm really loving, the minutes that McCadden are getting because of Keontae's absence. And he's producing.
DeMario Franklin
has stepped up.
Is taking over that role.
Yeah.
He's definitely a difference maker right now.
Mm-hmm. X factor for sure. Plays hard on defense. I think when he focuses and puts his mind to it, get us a bucket when we need one. But I think, and again, going into postseason play, I will stand by it and I will continue to preach it. But when you got these guys who all love it, who genuinely love each other and want to be around each other, stuff like that is what gets you W's in postseason play.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust your guys. You guys going to ride for you. Team huddles during the game, stuff like that. No bickering, no arguing. Guys being able to communicate effectively during a game, post-game, pre-game. That says a lot. And I think we're number 1 in that category, and I think that's something that's huge going into conference play. A lot of people may feel different, but I think that's the number 1 thing we can take away from this team or take to the conference tournament is the fluidity and how much we get along. I think people take that for granted, and that's something that's extremely important.
So it seems like to me the Tigers are pretty safe in the NCAA tournament, even if they, don't win even if they come out against UCF and have a bad game and lose that game, they're pretty safely in. Right now they're kind of slated in that 8-9 bracket, 8-9 seed. As somebody who's played in the NCAA tournament, would you rather have the 8-9 or would you rather be 10, 11, or even 7? I think obviously 7, but would you rather stay out of that 8-9 bracket?
Oh yeah. I'm going 10, 11 all day.
Yeah.
10, 11 all day because you run into that 8-9 where I guess you're evenly matched. It's that 8-9 always going to be a dog fight.
Dog fight, yeah.
8-9 always going to be a dog fight. And then you come back, you run into that juggernaut. Boom, number 1 seed.
You get that 1 seed in the second round, man.
Second round. And it's like you fighting for your life. You fighting for your life. So I would 100% take that 10-11 seed over that 8-9 all day, every day, big dog. All day, every day. Because people don't. It's like you can't come up for air when you that 8-9 seed. There ain't no room to breathe. Yeah, it really ain't no room to breathe in any game in an NCAA tournament. But that 8-9, you need to pack your lunch, dog, because you about to go to work.
Well, right now they got, I think the top 4 seeds are obviously Houston, UCLA, Kansas, and Bama. So I wish do we know I know we talking a lot of post game, but like just because we've seen them all year, I'm not scared of Houston or Bama. Well, they aren't. I agree, but I think, and I don't know if this is like, I just found this out yesterday on the Tigers and Tap show. But from what I've been told and what TJ and Trey were talking about yesterday, the NCAA committee, the seeding committee, tries to keep teams away. The teams that have played against each other in the regular season, they try to keep them away from each other in the NCAA tournament. So that basically means that whatever bracket Alabama and Houston are in, the Tigers won't be in.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to be in that bracket with either Kansas or UCLA.
I think.
What do you think? Who do you like? Like, if the Tigers are solidly in that 8-9 seed, and from what everything I've seen, I think even Lenardi had 8-9 bracket going up against Missouri in the first round, and then been in the bracket with the 1 seed being Kansas. You want Kansas, or do you want? I mean, Missouri's a tough game already, so let's not look past that too quickly. But in terms of a 1 seed in the second round,
from a revenue standpoint, I don't know. I don't even know what region. I mean, obviously, what do you know what they would send us? Did TJ and them talk about that?
Des Moines.
They always sending us
Right?
to some man. Just man, NCAA. You know, y'all do this bull crap every year. Just make it impossible for Tiger fans to get to a game.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Like who even lives there?
Listen, I'm sure it's beautiful, bro. I'm sure the 16
Des Moines.
I'm sure the 16,000 mooses that live there love
2
it.
stoplights.
2 stop.
You know what? 5 stop signs.
They got a Dollar General.
Right, man. Look, from a revenue standpoint, I think people would love that Mizzou game.
Be a
Just
big game.
because they smacked us in the Sweet 16 a few years back when Reek was here, and they killed us in that 2-2-1 press. Had Damari Carroll and what's his face up top.
Yeah, you talked about this a few weeks ago.
I mean,
That's true.
They beat us to sleep. I mean, Cal didn't have an answer. At that press, because when you got them big athletic bigs up there that's running the front of that press like guards, they long, athletic. That's trouble.
Well, we don't know if they're running the same stuff.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying at that time. So I'm sure that'll be a little nostalgic for Tiger fans.
That's an SEC squad,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
And then, boom, Kansas. I mean, what Memphis fan wouldn't love to see that?
How many times you think if they play Kansas that second round game, how many times are we going to see that Mario Chalmers shot?
They might be paid. They might get paid every time it gets ran on
The
TV.
question is, does Mario Chalmers get paid for that? Does he get a residual?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, because they paying these guys now, right?
He needs to, man. His face is going to be all over the screen. If Memphis faces off against Kansas in the second round.
Last time these guys faced off, dagger.
Let's take you back
Yeah,
to the
man. They're going to get into all that mess.
Mario Chalmers.
You know, I still think Cal should have fouled.
Oh, of course.
Still should have fouled. And I know there were some things going on during that game, free throws. I can't remember which game. I think that was the game. They were in the stadium, and Dorsey was having some issues shooting free throws because of the way the stadium was set up and the sun was in his eyes. So they literally had security scale the steps to make sure that curtain stayed closed for him to shoot. I think that was the Kansas game.
Wait, you're not joking. That's true?
No, yeah.
I thought you were playing with Joey.
No.
That's
that was for real. It was like I can't. I mean, if I ever get a chance to just run into him and ask him, I would love to. But it was on national TV, man. Like,
what?
It was a curtain or something up there. It was in Dorsey's face, and he couldn't see. And it was wild, man. It was wild, but.
So who would you rather play? Have you been able to watch UCLA play much?
Yeah,
this
I've watched
year?
them.
What do you think? Who would you rather play, UCLA or Kansas?
UCLA, they got a young, scrappy squad.
They got but they got those dudes that have been. What's that? Javier, is it Jaquez kid that's been there for 25 years? Tiger Campbell's been there for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, see that experience,
right?
That experience, man.
Right.
Those guys know what it takes to win.
Man,
they know what it takes to win. But and it's like no discredit to our guys. Our guys are seasoned too. Let's just keep it a buck, right? We got an older roster. But it's different having an experience or a resume on those, from a UCLA standpoint versus where some of these guys have come from. It's just two different types of basketball. And I think when you have these guys playing that high-level basketball like that for so long, it's an advantage when, come tournament time because they've been there before. They've done it. Now, our guys are hoopers. They can play, and they're experienced as well, but not at that level.
Is it not crazy, though, that we're sitting here at the end of the regular season, about to jump into postseason play, and we're sitting here talking about the number 1 seeds. We're talking about, the 2 top teams in the country right now. Are you, the Tigers shouldn't be afraid of anybody, should they?
Not a soul. Not a soul. Listen, I know I harp on it a lot, but the only people, and I don't think we would see them, and I don't think there's any way we see them, but if I had to be afraid to play somebody, off the top of my head, I'm thinking, if we had to be afraid to play somebody, there's a couple teams. Obviously, Purdue. Because there's not a single team in the country that can do something with Edey. They did take an L to, was it Indiana? What's my boy name?
Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah. He's probably – is he a first rounder? That's a real question.
That's a good question, man. The problem is he's older. I covered him at the McDonald's All-America game in 2019. So he's been in college now for 4 years, almost 5 years. So it's how NBA teams are when it comes to age and they draft off of potential, not. So do I think he's a first-round talent? Absolutely. Do I think he's going to go first round? Probably. Because he's nasty. He's big. Yeah. Nasty.
Athletic. Fast.
But here's the thing, though. Think about it this way. Obviously Zach Edey's a massive matchup problem for anybody, literally, figuratively, all those things. But their guards have been kind of trash the last half of the season.
Wishy-washy. And they've always had, and to your point, Purdue has always had that 1-2 combo. They go to their breeding farm.
You have to
get their big.
Man, come on, man.
Get their big, and they just find a hooper at that 1-2 spot, and they just go to work.
And they got some dudes on the team, but they just have not been consistent.
Yes, no consistency.
Right.
No consistency.
But obviously the matchup against Purdue would be tough because Zach Edey's a matchup nightmare literally for everybody in the country. But
other than those two,
who was the other? You said Purdue.
Indiana.
Oh, you think Indiana's a matchup nightmare?
Them and
I think Indiana. I think we're good with Indiana.
What about? Okay, I was thinking because I was watching them the other day. What about Iowa?
I'll be frank with you, man. I hadn't watched a whole bunch of Iowa this year.
Okay, so Iowa. I think they got a solid program. Obviously, that big man. When they played, what game was it? I tweeted about it when my guy walked in with the Pooh Shiesty mask on. I can't remember who they played. Man, was it Maryland? I can't remember, but Iowa got a solid squad. But other than those, I think, man, I don't think we should be afraid of a single soul in the country, man. Obviously, when my partners see this, they're gonna say Tennessee. My buddy, he's my number one troller on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, Roy. But Tennessee been kind of butt this year.
They can't score,
and they've been a for sure lock in, and they're for sure lock in for the tournament. And I'm like, what?
But they were number one in the country for a minute,
and I don't even know how they can't score the ball.
And then obviously they just lost Zakai Ziegler, who's their heart and soul.
And it sucks too because that was literally like a freak accident.
Yeah, like that dude. Like, listen, man, I'm not a fan of Tennessee. I don't think they're very good. But it's, we are a player-friendly place here. Seeing that young man go down after everything he's been through and being in his final year, that was rough, man.
And it's like, and I don't think people understand, I am not a doctor in any shape, form, or fashion, just being around the sport. Yeah. I don't think people understand, how it's going to sound crazy, but, how hard it is to tear an ACL. Like, so many things have to line up perfectly for your ACL to snap. And Buddy, my man was he literally was making an outlet pass and just like landed and just boom. And it's like, what the hell happened? And when you look at it, like, you can't even like, usually the knee will shoot a certain way or they'll fall on it funny, but he looked like he was just coming down on off a pass out to the corner.
Yeah.
And just boom. But prayers, hands all around my guy. Obviously we wish no harm on any player. He has been literally the motor for that team.
Yep.
So speedy recovery. But my Tigers, a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, a lot of health. Going into the postseason, things are, like you said, I think the schedule's when it's just going to drop when, okay? What'd you say when it
The schedule for the
conference tournament?
Oh, it's dropped already.
Okay.
Yeah, the brackets dropped already.
Okay.
They play
cool.
Their first game is Friday at 6 p.m. against the winner of UCF and
Right. That's
SMU.
right. Yeah, you said that. That's right. Well,
speaking of your SMU Mustangs, the team you were most scared of,
they laid an egg,
bro.
Which is fine. They laid an egg. I get it, but I mean, just I put my foot in my mouth, but I just know I know.
No, they played hard though.
Oh yeah,
they played hard. They just aren't very good.
That not. Even if they had one person that was a decent score, we'd probably be in trouble because they kept the game. They cut the game within like 5 or 6 at one point and just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get the ball in the hole. We was playing great defense. I mean, so ultimately we got the dub, but we got a lot of momentum going in to the tournament. We got a lot of health, a lot of joyfulness, if you will. The guys are closer than ever. I think we playing peak Memphis basketball right now. So super excited to see what's going on with that. Excited to see what happens this weekend. Excited to see this run we're going to make. They're going to do a great job. They're going to do an amazing job. Thank y'all. Coming up next, a very controversial topic that has put me in a chokehold for quite some time now. I've had some arguments and some debates, and I've even almost come to blows with a couple people. Well, probably a couple million people. But we'll get into that when we get back. Coming up next, we're catching up with Coleman.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
What's poppin'? We here with it. We back, baby. We back. Now, we're back. I didn't have to put my, fictional bulletproof vest on, hard helmet. I had to, this is gonna hurt a lot of people. It's gonna touch a lot of people. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling everybody, I'm going to die on this hill.
There's certain battles that you just choose to fight. And this is one of the more dangerous ones. We talked in the first segment about who are you afraid of?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of, I'm not afraid of many people. And I would suspect you're probably not afraid of many people.
Yeah.
I'm a little, my pits are sweating a little bit right now.
That's okay. That's all right. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this happen. Oh, sorry, but my other half. Well, I guess my other. I don't know what you call it. Co-parent. Charlie's mom, we making plans. We trying to make sure we communicate, make sure
By the
things
way,
work out.
Y'all are a trip on Instagram. When you post those little back and forths, man, y'all are hilarious.
Man, listen. Let me tell you this before we get started in this next segment, man. I want everybody. Yes, I'm an advocate for positive co-parenting situations and motivating dads. As you can see here, my shirt, Dad Ain't Easy. I got it here on my shirt. But let me tell you something. It ain't always peaches and cream, okay? I think everybody think we got it all figured out and things like that. Now, we hit some bumps in the road, mainly because of me. but we make it work, man. You know, Charlie's mom is a rock star. Charlie's stepdad is a rock star. Jameson. We just make it work, dog.
Because in the end, it's all about Charlie, bro.
It's all about Charlie, man. Charlie happy, May happy, Kiri, the baby happy, the son, Jaden happy. We just make it work, man. Jameson's family treats me like they just nice people, man. Jameson would give me the shirt off his back if he had to. I can't fit it.
Nah, it wouldn't fit you.
It wouldn't fit, but he would give it to me. So
of course he would.
So
you need an arm sleeve? I got you.
Yeah, that's it. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. But there's no way we just gonna hard launch, right? You know, I've got into an argument with plenty of people. We just gonna dive right into it. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, okay? 2 questions. There's an obvious answer to one, but the second one, it's debatable. But for me, it's not debatable. I have my answer, and I'm gonna stick by it. 1, who's the better singer, Beyonce or Taylor Swift? Obviously, everybody gonna say Beyonce.
Right.
Who's more popular, more fame? I'm going with T Swift. I'm going with T Swift. That's just, and I'm gonna tell you why. And we can get into numbers. You know, there's a couple sources that, you know, we can dive into that. But my biggest reason is because, one, Beyonce's getting older. Okay, so the people that follow her or the people that are fans are of older descent, if you will. And the music that she makes isn't exactly target friendly. So those streams that you hear in Target, Zara, H&M, stuff like those songs, those artists getting paid for those. Mm-hmm. But when you got songs like, I'm a fan of Beyonce. I think she a baddie, dime piece, amazing, all the things.
Right.
But when you got songs, you know, baby girl talking about being a thought in church and all kind of stuff, that's not exactly airplay for an overall demographic. Taylor Swift. I mean, let's you know, call a spade a spade. I'm Will Coleman. Everybody know what Will Coleman like, white women. That's me. I like and I put it on my story the other day when I first found out I was falling in love with white women was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, it's just that's what it is. I'll be a man and admit it. But Taylor Swift, average looking, you know, Caucasian female for me. It's nothing that stick out about Taylor Swift. I honestly, you know, it's just nothing that's like, ooh, like, man, she fine. Where it's like, you put her and Margot Robbie in the same room. Come on, bro.
Just totally went a different direction.
Come on, bro. But as far as clout, fame,
right,
recognition,
you're dealing with two
TV
different.
time.
You're dealing with juggernauts here. You're dealing with the Beehive and the Swifties.
The Swifties, the Swiss Army, whatever you want to call it. Now, you know, a lot of T Swift music is about somebody breaking her heart, and your modern day girl, I guess, can relate to that. You know,
Beyonce makes boss music, man.
Yes, she does. She does. Motivating.
Not everybody's bosses.
Not everybody bosses. Not everybody bosses. Not everybody bosses. I remember, you know, it was a huge thing on Twitter. You know, people call Twitter, it's a couple names for Twitter, but this in specific, you know, they call it Black Twitter. You know, when black people get on there and start acting a fool. She made a song about quitting a job and all this stuff. Beyonce can quit her job. Your everyday American can't. So don't go out here and listen to this lady and get gassed up and you out here doing what you do. One other thing that a lot of people hate, they hate it. From my knowledge, she's the only artist to successfully do this, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll look it up, but I feel like T Swift is the only person who has literally broken Ticketmaster. I just, you know, I just, that's just, for me, that's, I don't, you know, everybody got their tickets successfully when it was when Beyonce announced her tour.
Right.
You know, people were waiting in line. People were trying to get their tickets, but I mean, Taylor Swift broke the whole internet.
Listen, Will, you're my guy. I'm with you 10 toes deep, bro. So I'm coming with some numbers real quick to back up.
Okay, all right.
This up.
I'm with it. I like numbers. I like numbers.
I know you do.
I like numbers.
Taylor Swift started her career about 3 years after Beyonce went solo, away from Destiny's Child. The question is, do we have to take into consideration Destiny's Child's popularity, album sales, notoriety, all those their touring levels, or are we going strictly Beyonce's single career?
We're just going Beyonce's single career because a lot of people don't know. Beyonce didn't like nobody in Destiny's Child anyway.
They didn't like each other.
They didn't like each other.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, another conversation for another day, but I think Beyonce was scared of Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland got the vocal cords, man.
Kelly can sing now, and she fine. Kelly Rowland a dime, and I think, you know, I think she was afraid of Kelly Rowland. But again, another conversation for another day. But we talking solo career.
Well, here's some numbers for you. Let's go with this. Let's go album sales. Now, this is not current.
No, it's not current.
I have not been able to find current album sales numbers.
But a year after, I don't think that's.
I mean, there's going to be some. Well, Taylor had a. Let me just tell you. So this is from July of 2022, and since this, Taylor has dropped an album that, at one point, the top 10 songs in America were all 10 songs from her album.
Man, see, and Beyonce dropped 2. That's what's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That's what's crazy.
Right. So here we go. Album sales. Beyonce. 89,751,000 album sales. Baller.
That's still a lot, dog.
So crazy. Taylor Swift. 120 milli.
Come on, man.
Now,
like,
album sales are a big thing, but we are in the day and age of Spotify.
But streams.
Right? Streaming has. I was an artist manager when Spotify and streaming became the thing, and it
changed the game.
It flipped the game on its head.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest things as a manager to have to deal with. How to get streams, man.
Yeah.
Beyonce. 16 billion.
Yes.
672,525,286 streams. With 31,754 followers on Spotify. T Swift.
Man.
31 Billy.
That's what a B. Big B's.
Big B.
Big B's. That's a B. Billion.
With 55 million followers on Spotify.
Man,
YouTube.
Come on, bro.
Digital content. BCM. Hey, if we can ever get to any of these numbers, you think BCM could do it? I think Will Coleman Show could get to this number.
You know, I think it, man. We for sure gonna push for it.
We're moving in that direction.
We trying to, baby.
YouTube. Beyonce. 15 billion views. 24.7 million subscribers. T Swift. 25 billion views. 47 million followers.
Listen. Now, don't let this go over y'all head. I know, the Bayhive probably or what of the Bayhive gonna see this. I want this clip specifically. just so I can start a fight.
Noted.
But I'm not saying Beyonce's not a better artist, because she is. Sing, dance, look good, all that stuff. But when it comes to influencer and popularity and fame, T Swift got the game on lock.
Lockdown, baby.
Got the game on lock, man. Got the game on lock.
I'm with you.
100%. And you know what else got the game on lock? I'm gonna let you know. I'm on my boy's head. Both of them. You know what else got the game on lock? Chicken nuggets.
Listen, there's a huge fight on Bluff City Media now.
Chicken
Last
nuggets.
night or yesterday, Tigers and Tap dropped, and man, let me just tell you, it was one of the wilder shows that I've ever been a part of. It was wild. They were crazy the whole night. TJ and Trey shaved off their beards right before the episode and went complete mustache
Y'all
mode.
look like some creeps. Y'all my guys, though. I love y'all. Y'all like some creeps, though.
That's just shit white people do, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you know. First off, I don't know if I'm doing it right, or maybe I'm not doing it right. But if I take a razor to my face,
Are you all like bumped out and stuff?
oh
after?
yeah, it gets nasty.
Yeah.
It gets nasty. Some people say, "Oh, you need a better razor, or some aftershave, or what?" I just don't think my skin like razors.
I feel you, man. I feel you. That's why I've had a beard since I was a sophomore in college.
Yeah, so I don't mess with it. But
They had, so TJ and Trey went to a bachelor party. I think it was in Nashville a couple of days ago, and they went to Topgolf, and they ordered boneless chicken wings. While they were eating them, swinging the golf club, eating their boneless chicken wings, the waiter came up to them and said, "How do you like your chicken nuggets?" And which is low key savage, because there's a lot in that sentence. How do you like your chicken nuggets? Children,
yeah,
babies.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like it takes a man to admit when he's wrong, or it takes a man to be vulnerable and accept something that's outside the norm.
1000%.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm a huge chicken nuggets guy. And let me tell you something. If I mess around and get my hands on some Dino Nuggies,
Right. I got some in the kitchen downstairs.
it's a wrap, dog.
Yeah, bro.
I'll take a plate of Dino Nuggies and a Netflix movie.
Call it a night.
Call it a night, dog.
Call it a good night.
Man, Dino Nuggets and a movie, I'm locked in.
They got mad at this, though. They were ready to throw hands.
But, like, what even is a boneless? I feel like if you get a boneless wing, your meat gonna come out on your plate look like somebody done played with it.
It looks like it is somebody was picking it with their fingertips.
Right,
Like
because
their fingernails.
How you make a boneless wing? It's not like you can, like, come on, dog.
Naturally, there's bones in the wing, man.
That's what I'm saying. So you either gonna get your meat and it look like a wing, but somebody done pulled the bones out, or you just gonna get like a plate of meat that look like somebody done played with it.
Somebody been smashing it with their hands, like
Right, man.
like taking beef and turning it into a meatball. That's what you're doing with a chicken nugget.
A chicken nugget, man, is like, man, nah, bro. You ain't getting ain't no such thing as boneless chicken wings. You get a chicken nugget. That's a chicken nugget.
So were they wrong in being offended by that statement?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. If y'all want chicken nuggets, just say that.
Yeah. It's like being offended for when somebody points out the truth, right?
It's a lot of people that don't like that.
They don't like it when the truth is told.
Yeah, just like when Taylor Swift is more popular than Beyonce.
And it's a good callback.
But those are my guys. I love them to death. You know, and I will always cherish those guys.
We just got to get them to stop eating chicken nuggets and calling them boneless chicken wings.
Yeah. They're my boys, and I will always love them. You know, we'll get into this another day, but they were my frat brothers. I was a Pike.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a Pike. Another conversation for another day. But speaking of, I saw a couple more at the Tiger game Sunday, and it's my fault. It was very much a high and by conversation when my intentions were not that. Those are some guys that are near and dear to my heart, and I really should have stopped to speak to them. It was like, oh, how y'all doing? And I just kind of walked off. But those were my buddies. I saw my guy J-Mac across the court. They was trying to get him on the Simba cam or the baby cam or whatever. So I saw him. I saw a lot of people that were near and dear to my heart. That were near and dear to my heart during my tenure at the University of Memphis. And I just want to say I love y'all, man, and I apologize for all the quick high and buys and things like that, man. And what's crazy? It brings me, and we'll jump right into it, man. My Bluff City Bad Ass. I'm getting all worked up and stuff about it. A huge shout out. Obviously we've talked about it. The Bluff City Bad Ass is, where we find some good in the world and where we just kind of celebrate positivity, great things in this world, because it's a lot of hate and it's a lot of sick people in this world, man. So this is a segment that I personally wanted to do because I think whenever you have time, you should celebrate any kind of good. Miss Karen Johnson is a lady that I work with. Don't know all the details. Don't know everything, but she had an incident over the past weekend where she went septic and, essentially, died for the better part of 15 minutes. And the doctors were able to revive her, and she's heavily sedated from, last I heard. But a couple things, from that. One, love on your people, man, because you never, and you can do all the research, and you can, like, literally when that happens, when you hit that the sepsis or however you pronounce it, that's literally a freak accident. I mean, it comes out of nowhere, almost, to the similar effect of like spontaneous combustion. Like it comes out of, there's nothing you necessarily can't find it. I mean, it's a freak accident. And it's so weird because I saw her Friday, her birthday was Saturday, and I see her Friday, and it's like, oh, hope y'all have a nice weekend. Like, it was just another run-of-the-mill weekend. I was going to see her on Monday. See you on Monday, Karen. Love you. I hope you have a great weekend. All the things before she left. And so I work at Principal Toyota off of Winchester, and I will tell you this, and I will look every single person in that dealership in the face and let them know Karen Johnson is hands down the most important person in that dealership. It worries me a little bit, freaks me out. She works in the accounting office from signing paychecks to making sure deals get done right, all the legality stuff, make sure all that stuff works out. She is 100% the most important person in that dealership, and she's okay right now. They got her sedated, but again, man, I lift all hands and all prayers surrounding her, but love on your people. If you got beef, squash it. If something going wrong, squash it. If you need to make things right with somebody, do it. But because you literally never know. And this is a lady I see every single day. You never know what's going to happen. So find your people, love on them, make sure they're okay if they need anything. And check in with being intentional about it. Don't just run in and, hey, how you doing? Just check and see if you're okay. Ask them, talk to them. I'm here to listen. What do you need? What can I help with? Are you okay? Ask questions and probe to make sure you can check on your people, man, because you never know what's going to happen. So, Ms. Karen Johnson, I love you. The Toyota family love you. Everybody out there, check on your people. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Will Coleman, my dog K on the ones and twos. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Will Coleman Show. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co, where you will find comprehensive coverage of Tiger athletics and how you can become a contributor.